Hello, welcome to Thursday. I want to talk a little bit about body cavities and just add a little bit to your notes. This is, you can follow along with this. I have put it on the website. Um, you also have a copy of this in the note form. So I'm not going to read to you because that'd be really boring, but I want to talk to you about why we have body cavities. So your cranial cavity houses your brain, obviously. The big thing with that, I don't know if you've heard about the blood-brain barrier. You have a barrier that surrounds your brain that does not let blood flow cross directly into it, which is really important to try to keep bacteria and those type of things out of the brain. And so there are certain things that can cross the blood-brain barrier, but there is a barrier there. So there's a theme. Those cavities are designed to protect us and isolate any problems you might have. So your thoracic cavity is um, is a big cavity, and then within that cavity you have your pleural cavities, which surround your lungs, and then you have your pericardial cavity, which surrounds your heart. So it's like three different containers inside the thoracic cavity. So if something happens, there's um, there's a way to alleviate the spreading of that. The other thing is that think about if you were jogging and your heart was touching your lung, you're going to get some friction. And if you get friction, you're going to get blisters. What happens instead are those cavities are surrounded with what's called a serous membrane. The serous membrane lubricates between. It's a double layer with liquid in between. And so those membranes move together and they rub against each other with liquid in between there. And so you don't get that friction. The abdominal pelvic cavity contains both your abdominal cavity and your pelvis together. It's pretty much wide open. But again, if you burst your appendix, it's going to be in that cavity rather than spreading and infecting your liver and those type of things. So we'll look more about at that when we look at the particular systems. Here's a list of the systems of the body. You're going to do an exercise that will ask you to look at how those work together. So this is more of a reference. We're going to talk about homeostasis tomorrow. So that will be coming. We already went through the study guide for some of the exercises, but I put them all here so you'd have the answers in one space. So there's the first page. There's this one is looking at the body systems. So you can go ahead and correct your own using this. This one is looking at where the organs belong. And again, we're going to do an exercise that's going to go deeper into that. So there's your answers for that one. And this, we're going to do more on the um, homeostasis and using this when we do that. Regions of the body. You're going to have a quiz of the regions of the body, and I will provide you with review activities so you can do this. But you're going to need to study those, and I think it's on page 15, the list that we're going to use. And so that's coming. We already did the planes and the directional terms. And here we're looking at which cavity the different organs are found in. And so that will go with today's lesson. And some of you emailed me about how do you do this when you can't write in there, and I suggested you just write 1 through, what is it, 15 on a piece of paper and then provide the answers. So there is the answers to your study guide. So the rest of today's lesson is on a separate post. I just wanted to clarify and show you the answers to your study guide.